Alright, hey y'all. Hey, we are back for another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas. We are on season 1, episode something, 21, 22, whatever. Whichever one it is, it's the one before the season finale. So it's the next to last one. So let's just jump right into it. We are in the wake of Gary accidentally throwing Jasmine over the parking garage structure and her landing on a car. So Jasmine thinks that Gary threw her over on purpose, and she's in and out of it, and she's not in good shape, and so she's asking Gary, why did you do this to me? Blah blah blah. We used to love each other. Talking about how she used to love him, and she used to love him so much, and basically she pushed him into Morse's arms. He didn't give her any attention. All this good stuff. So I guess she's kind of confessing her feelings for Gary. I don't know. Whatever. So she's kind of slipping in and out of it, and she appears to be dead at this point. All right. So moving on, Andy's at the office for the meeting with the law partners, with the employees at the law firm, and Fatima tells her that the private investigator still has more information, and she needs to meet with her just to kind of see what she has to say about the whole situation. And so we move on to the meeting with Bellamy, I think, and the other partners, and they tell her that Jasmine is dropping the claim, and that they want her to keep the case going. They want Jasmine and Gary to sue them, I guess, as some sort of, what I got from the conversation is they're trying to make an example out of Andy. And it was kind of weird. They wanted to make an example out of her, and that they want to keep the case going, and that it'll be a good way to make an example out of Andy, which I'm to insinuate that because, okay, she's the only black lady that works here. You need to know that you need to stay in your particular place so that things like this don't happen. This is what I think. It was weird considering you don't want your company to be sued. But in this case, for some reason, these widows want to be sued. So, whatever. And so Andy's like, I don't think this is right. Like, I went through so much and trying not to get you all sued. And then, she just jumps off a cliff and she snitches on Bellamy. She says, he's the one that told me to take this case anyway. I didn't want to take it initially and all this other stuff. And then the guy, he denies it. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Andy. I never told you to take this case. I didn't know anything about, you and Gary, which we all know that that's a lie. But, of course, you're going to save your own ass if it comes down to it. So, Andy, you just out there on your own, girl. And so what they were going to do is they were going to give her a severance package and, go through with the lawsuit and fire her, just to, I guess, to make an example out of her for anybody else that may get in this situation. And they were going to give her a severance package, but once she just kind of let all the truth come out about her boss's role, they let her know, like, hey, he stood up for you and he was trying to look out for you. He recommended the severance package. Now you're not going to get nothing. You're just fired. So her and Bellamy are, the rest of the partners leaving. Her and Bellamy are just in there talking one-on-one. And he tells her, she tells him, like, I'm not taking this, whatever you guys want me to take. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to use my legal degree, and I'm going to fight this to the end because this isn't right. So that's going to be something interesting to see that develops in one more episode, to see how you're going to get your job back or win something over on this law firm. So on her way out of that meeting, Gary calls and tells she needs to come to the hospital because he's probably going to need a lawyer, which you're definitely going to need a lawyer, my friend. So, yeah. Andy gets to the hospital and he tells her everything, and Andy tells Gary that he has to leave the hospital because if he stays there, he's going to get arrested on site. However, he wants to stay there. He wants to make sure that Jasmine, is good and she's still alive. She's still the mother of his children. So, he's going to do the noble thing and stay around just to get an update on her status, even though nobody's telling him anything about what's going on with her. So, as they speak, the cops show up. They don't stop and talk to them. They go straight to what I assume to be Jasmine's room to see what her status is. So, yeah. After that, Andy lets him know, like, criminal law isn't really my thing. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Andy is a divorce attorney, which is totally different than, criminal law. So she knows that criminal lawyer, and she calls him, one of her friends, and she says, hey, and it just happens to be a male. Hey, I have someone that's going to be needing a criminal lawyer. Can you come over? And he just happens to be in the area. So she's like, yeah, give me 10 minutes and I will come around. However, when she was talking to him, she kind of wanted to walk away from Gary a little bit. You got to get a little bit of privacy. He was like, why you got to walk off when you talking to him? Come stand right here and talk to him. So he's kind of eavesdropping on the conversation, and, now he gets an attitude. He's more concerned about how does Andy know this dude as opposed to how this man's going to be able to help me not go to prison. So that's going to be another point of contention, I am sure. All right, so, yeah, so he's worried about, how do you know this dude? Why is he so excited to see you? Why does he miss you so much? Blah, 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 all this good stuff. Instead of, hey, my immediate future is hanging in the balance and I need to figure out how to get out of this shit. So, yeah, that is red flag number 3,862, in my opinion. All right, so, he claims that he needs some air and he walks out because he's so upset about the fact that Andy didn't introduce him as her boyfriend on the phone and whatever else. Moving on. Sabrina gets a call from Maurice and he asks her to come see him. She gets there and she seems to be mad. Well, he's remorseful about the fact that he ruined his favorite dress, and he gives her hat back, and he's just kind of taking everything with a grain of salt. And she says, and he also lets us know that they caught the musclehead guy to beat him up, and he's going to be going to jail. And Sabrina, again, she goes on to blame herself. She feels bad for even giving Maurice's number to the dude. That all that's understandable. And then it gets serious, but not serious because, he keeps making light of the situation, saying he gave him a run for his money, and, just making lighthearted of things like Maurice tends to do. And Sabrina is getting upset because he's not sad about it. He's not crying about it. He doesn't feel how she thinks he needs to feel about the situation. And so she's mad, and she claims that it's not funny, the whole situation isn't funny. But, that's just his way of coping, so there's not really much she can do about that. And so Maurice goes on to paint a picture of, them trading lives. Like, if you were to trade lives with me, you would realize, like, this isn't the first time I've been attacked for being a gay. This isn't the first time I've been beaten with an inch in my life. This isn't the first time, I've been shunned out by people and all these good things. So this is just another incident in the saga that comes along with being gay. Which is definitely a sad reality in that moment. So I guess, he's just taking it as another stripe that comes with being who he is. Alright, so we get through that, and they have a little come to Jesus, and they're good, and blah blah blah, and he lets us know like he's gonna milk this whole situation, so he's not going back to work. He'll see you when you see you. Alright, so the attorney friend shows up, and Andy's giving him the rundown, and Gary's just giving this attorney dude, the criminal attorney, all type of attitude. Like, he's just real hard about the situation, feeling real threatening, in my opinion. And he tells the attorney, he tells Andy, you've caught him up now. He should know what to do from this point. Just getting real buck about the situation. And then he starts going in. He's like, who are you? Where do you come from? Why do you know her? Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, you need to chill. Like, he's trying to help you. So he basically just gets overwhelmed with the fact that Andy and the guy went on what he later learns to be one date. And he just sends the guy off like, no, I already have an attorney. I don't need you. Thanks that you couldn't be helped. Thanks, but no thanks, basically. You can't help me. Peace out. So he sends the dude away, wastes everybody's time in my opinion. And yeah, so again, he's still threatened by the fact of another man being in the general square footage of where Andy's been. So again, another red flag. Alright, so while that is happening, Sabrina runs into Andy and Gary in the hospital, which what that's going to be the waiting room, and she's real interested in knowing, like, what's going on, like, why y'all here, what's happening. First of all, Andy, why are you here with Gary of all people? And Andy just gives a little sweet explanation. She's like, I'll let you know what happens I'll let you know what happened later. You know, just go home for right now, and I'll talk to you later. And Sabrina's paying Gary dust at this point because nobody wants to be associated with Gary in no means at this point. So so Andy gets rid of her quickly, and she was like, "Dang!" And Gary's like, "What's the problem?" Andy was like, "Yeah, she's about to call Danny. I know it. Just give her 5 minutes." And you know, show her shit stink. She definitely calls Danny to see if she knows what was going on with Andy, and Danny has no idea. And then Danny calls Karen, who should know better than anybody else, because Andy and Karen have a closer relationship than the other two. So it doesn't seem like anybody really knows what's going on and why she would be at the hospital with Gary, but you know, we just have to wait until it unfolds. So Sabrina calls Karen, and she has no idea what's going on with Andy, and Karen kind of rushes her out the phone because Aaron, the pastor dude, is coming by her house to have dinner or lunch or something like that. And they're talking, and he admits that, you know, he's sad that his wife is dead, but he kind of feels free in a sense. Which, you know, I mean, if she kind of showed us a little bit of her mental instability, I can kind of sort of imagine what he has had to deal with over the time that they've been married. So, you know, I guess in his honest opinion, he feels a sense, he's sad that, you know, he lost his wife and the kids lost their mom, but he also feels relieved that this is like not something he has to continue dealing with as far as the divorce and the shenanigans that come along with that lady. I don't feel anything's wrong with that. So, yeah. All right. So, Zach is at Danny's, kind of reminiscing about him and Karen. And then Lisa, Karen's mom, shows up, and she basically tells him, like, get your shit together. You're about to run her off permanently. Like, y'all know y'all love each other. Figure it out. You need to figure this out. You need to do better and stop being a bum. That sums that up. All right. And he's just giving a whole lot of excuses and about being an ex-felon and you know, all these other reasons that he has for being a trifling individual at times. And nobody's listening at this point. Sorry, Gary. Not Gary. What's your name? Zach. Nobody's listening at this point, Zach. So, yeah. Andy and Gary are sitting in the waiting room, and you know, it's a elephant in the room now because he's upset that she went on the one date with the attorney dude. And the cops come in and they arrest him for the murder of Jasmine. So that's that episode. Season 1 next week is the final episode of the season. So we will see how we wrap all this up in a nice little bow within that 1 hour. Don't know when season 2 is coming back, or even if it's been picked up for season 2. But I'm sure it'll be there for season 2. It's been pretty popular. So we'll see what happens. I think in the preview it doesn't look like Jasmine is actually dead. So don't know what's happening with that. If this is going to be a way to kind of get Gary out of the picture. If that is the case, that would make things better for what they're trying to get Andy to take the fall for, and Jasmine's issues. That'll kind of relieve all of that with one fell swoop if Gary goes to prison. Not saying he should, but if he does, he does. So that's it, and I will see y'all in the next one.